Brother, he wants to be in it.
We're here with a dog. We have a new dog today.
Yay!
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Welcome to Corona Kitchen, Tracy and Ken.
Hello, thank you.
We are so happy to have you guys.
We're glad to be here. We're in beautiful downtown Gowanus, Brooklyn.
Nice.
And, you might see a dog and a cat run through here at some point, but I understand that's part of the charm of Corona Kitchen, right?
Exactly. What's your dog's name?
This is August.
Hi, August.
Hi. So cute.
August.
Hi, August. What kind of dog is that?
He's a Vizsla.
Oh, cool.
Beautiful.
3.5 years old.
Aww.
He's very interested in what we're cooking for dinner. So.
Oh, awesome. So this is Tracy and Kenneth Heatons, just in case we didn't tell you people that out there in TV land, Facebook land. And they are doing the coolest thing in Brooklyn that we had to share it with you. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell us what you guys are doing.
Well, we got started early on in the quarantine here. Tracy came up to me and asked about making a pasta dish that I'd made for the family. And she wanted to take it with our other daughter down to the local food pantry, right? Chips. And so I said to her, well, maybe you could go to a restaurant supply place, get some bulk ingredients, and we'll put it together. And
make a bunch.
Yeah. So she came back with a lot, and we cooked 2 big trays of it. And then I thought, it's going to take me 3 weeks to cook through all of the stuff. So then I suggested maybe she go on NextDoor and see if there's anybody else in the neighborhood who's interested in helping us cook this. And so that's what happened. So we had about, how many people the first cook?
I think we had about like 8 or 10 the first time. Yeah.
So we made a big ziti with chicken and vegetables, and then we took a break, and then about a couple weeks later, we decided to do another round, and we did a big batch of pinto beans and Spanish rice.
Oh, nice. So you just put it out through NextDoor and just asked if people wanted to help?
Yeah, so we were kind of surprised. Within a week, volunteers kept coming forward. We ended up with for that second cook, about 20 some cooks.
Yeah, we're up to about 20.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
and the organization that you're doing it for is chipsonline.org. If people want to check it out or donate.
Look how fancy I am.
Woo! Instant. Ask for it and
instantly appeared. Yes, exactly.
But you guys, how many people would you say that the food that you and others in your neighborhood have donated have helped in the kitchen and the shelter?
Well, between the 2 rounds of cooking that we've done so far, I think we've served over like 500 meals so far.
Oh,
so
my
far. Yeah, 500.
That is so cool.
And
that is awesome.
Yeah, and certain batches produce more than others, but what happened for them was that in the middle of Corona, because of Corona, they couldn't do a traditional sort of soup kitchen anymore, where they were cooking in mass and serving in mass and having people show up in mass. So they switched to what they call a pop-up, and where they're handing out to-go containers that are full of food. And so we're sort of making these big dishes and then putting them in the to-go containers that they give us, which is awesome. We have to buy those, and then delivering them back, and they're serving about 150 to 200 people every day.
Wow. So when you do it, are you like telling people that to do like a 13 by 9 pan? Do you have any like specifics around how you're telling people to organize the food?
Yeah, so what happens, so in terms of process, Ken will come up with the recipe, and we tend to try and specify if it's a single batch or a double batch. And, usually, I'll get the pans real quick. Like this is this, this is sort of a double batch.
Yeah,
In terms
yeah,
of
yeah.
Traditional kind of, you buy it at the grocery store, and that's
Right.
a single batch. And then we give them the recipe and then ask them to sign up for however many batches they want to make.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
And then we
You
give them
guys
the
are brilliant.
recipe, which Ken takes the recipes. He reads a bunch of different recipes, and then puts together, kind of cultivates the recipe that he thinks makes sense, which he can talk about in a second. And then
Yeah.
and then we do the math and go buy food in bulk at the restaurant supply place. Bring it back and then divvy it up into sort of the right ingredient quantities. So we try to make it kind of foolproof for the chefs. So
Yeah.
we deliver to them the ingredients in the right quantity. So then all they have to do is follow the recipe, make it, and then put it in the to-go containers. And then we come back and pick up the to-go containers and deliver it to the food pantry.
Tracy looks like she's in here running some kind of illicit operation. She'll have her scales out and bags of like weird herbs, and she's weighing.
It's the Breaking Bad episode
Exactly.
of
Totally. and our daughter, who's the cameraman today, she was in here divvying up chili powder, so she had to put on a mask because it was, too much to inhale. Then it definitely,
God.
The cops had walked in.
Everything seems like comes into play. Your math skills, your organizing, coordinating. It's like an army, probably, and it's so great what you're doing, because God, if you want to give back in your community, this is a wonderful way to help, is to feed people, because people are hungry right now.
Exactly. And it's what's been awesome in terms of the turnout is that, some people don't have the ability to donate money right now because of, their financial situation. And some people want to do more than just, write a check. They actually want to feel like they're doing something, making something more hands-on. So this is a good way for them to do that. Some people don't want to get out, they're really quarantining and they don't want to go to the grocery store, so we bring it to them. And and we've had a couple of people who've actually learned new things through this, where they're learning to.
Oh, sure.
Some people who've made homemade sauce for the first time because of this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what are you guys cooking for us today?
So easy. Oh my God.
What an inspiration you are. You're both such an inspiration to everybody. So what are you making today?
What are you making?
All right. So today we're going to make a shepherd's pie, or as my wife had pointed out earlier, in the UK, this would actually be a cottage pie because we're going to make it with ground beef. Can you get that out of the fridge?
Yes. That's how I usually make it, with ground beef.
Yeah. So the traditional shepherd's pie is made with ground lamb, which you can do. And I just keep in mind here, we're trying to gauge these recipes for a number of cooks with varying degrees of experience. So we're going to try to make this as replicatable. What's the word? As possible.
What's the word?
Replicant. All I can think of is Blade Runner. The replicant.
So this is and if you're using this at home, I'll just walk you through this mise en place here. This is the ground beef. I'm going to reduce that, saute it a little bit, get the liquid off of it. Then we have about 2 medium chopped onions here, 4 garlic cloves, 2 teaspoons.
Way more organized than we are.
2 teaspoons of ground thyme.
They're like legit.
I have 4 cups of tomato sauce. And then we're going to bump this up a little bit with some peas and carrots. These, however, are from a can. So that's 3 cups of peas and carrots. Like I said, if you did this at home for your family, you might want to substitute the fresh vegetables, fresh carrots. And we'll get started here.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yay, we haven't done so
While we're starting, I'm going to tell you Lori and who else? Lori's on.
Lori and Sheila, say hi.
Yeah, Lori and Sheila saying hello.
Hello, those are my sisters.
Oh, you're so
nice. I thought that we have our regulars, Huchan and Peggy, and there's Kathy McCurry there, and we are so happy to see you guys. Thanks.
What's it like in New York right now? What's the feeling, the tri-state area?
Should I come over here?
Sure.
Hey, Carol. It's interesting because it only in the last 2 weeks has it started feeling. It's actually started feeling quite like it's getting back to normal, just in terms of traffic and the number of people that are out and that sort of thing.
Right.
Prior to that, it was like that movie I Am Legend. Like there was just nobody in the streets.
She was walking down Park Avenue. She had to go in, and she's like, "This is strange." But there's between Grand Central and like
Couple blocks,
24th Street
yeah,
or
couple
something.
blocks
Like
north of
nothing
Grand
going
Central,
on.
there was not a human
That's
being.
so crazy.
It's hard to imagine.
No moving.
Hard to imagine.
It was so weird. If you've been in Manhattan, it's crazy. But it's starting,
Yeah.
it looks like it's starting to get back to normal, other than everyone's wearing masks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's someone named Diane Crawford that are saying you guys are awesome.
Hey, Diane.
Yay.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, this is amazing. So you have a pretty big, like a pot that you're going to brown that in. Are you going to brown it or just get it to right before that?
Yeah, I'm just going to get this almost to like the pink stage, so that all of the liquid and fat kind of comes off of it.
Uh-huh.
Then I will strain this out to get the liquid out. Then we'll saute the onions, throw in the garlic and the herbs and
Nice.
everything else. And then we'll combine all of this, and it's going to go into this half pan here. I've got the mashed potatoes that I've already prepared because that would be a little too long to do live.
So how many potatoes did you guys prepare? Do you know? Was it like 2 pounds or something?
Actually, I have 5 pounds of potatoes.
Wow.
Because we're doing 2 of these trays, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So I've got 5 pounds of potatoes. Those are just boiled, and then I warm up on the stove a quarter cup of butter and I think a cup and a half of milk, and get that sort of combined.
Just to make mashed potatoes, yeah.
Then I just blend it with a stick blender, a wand. If you want a finer mash, I really prefer using like a potato ricer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, food mill.
How long do you want that?
So you guys, Gary and Carla from Iowa say, "Way to go, bro and sis."
Hey guys.
We have family all over the country. So it's,
Yeah, we do too.
Nice that they chime in. That's our only audience, really. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh. Well, we're spreading wings.
Woo! Yay! Oh wow! So what would you say is the most challenging thing about what this whole endeavor, this whole journey for you?
Wow, there have been a lot of lessons we've learned, and we're still pretty young at this. This will be the 3rd big meal that we've done.
I'll give you lesson number 1.
I know she's
Lesson number 1: do not create a ground beef based dish.
Oh, thank you.
With the idea of making it en masse when ground beef is at an all-time high in terms of prices.
Oh.
So
Good point.
Good. Yeah, fair point.
So when I decided that I wanted to do a shepherd's pie, I think ground beef was about $3 to $3.75 at the store per pound. And then so Tracy went out to get this, and she came home. She says, "Well, I got everything, but the ground beef was like over $5 a pound."
No, it was $7.99 a pound.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey,
the wholesale price had gone.
Wow.
What did you get? Filet mignon ground beef?
No, this is lowbrow, regular old, 80-20 mix, and
Oh my!
yeah, it's crazy. So
Is that just like because of the beef?
Especially in New York, because that's not that much here.
We have a lot of
We could have shipped it to you for cheaper.
we have a lot of cows out here, Debriana.
Oh my gosh!
So we're gonna come out and do our next shepherd's pie out there. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, moving right along. We're going to start sautéing these onions now.
Do you have oil in the bottom of that pan?
Yeah, I put a couple tablespoons of oil in the bottom of the pan.
Great.
Let those get translucent.
Right.
Yeah, so when we discovered that the beef prices were so high, we didn't want to put a burden on our very generous and hardworking cooks that we're collaborating with on this. So we pivoted very quickly this morning and made a penne pasta with a marinara sauce and mozzarella. So
And more of our peas and carrots.
right. So yeah, we'll
So
go
the
back to the
challenge,
drawing board and see if we can get a higher protein kind of meal together for the next trip. Maybe like some lentils,
Yeah.
like that.
so it's like making it nutritious but affordable for people to make. That's the challenge. And
Right.
tasty.
That is.
And tasty.
Yeah. Tasty.
Yeah, it's hard, and one of the other learnings we've had is some chefs don't want too many steps. So you're trying to teach them new things and have them exposed to new things and make it tasty and make it nutritious, but make it easy and affordable. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. And servable for people.
Yeah.
They have to be able to put that into, it's casserole idea. That's the easiest thing to divvy up, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like the baked ziti,
Lasagna,
that
stuff,
was
enchiladas.
it was
Stuff
easy.
like
The other thing we learned is that like you can actually take a dish, like, when Chips, the food pantry said in response to my ask of like what types of dishes really work well for you
Yeah.
clientele, they said beans and rice, and my first reaction was like beans and rice are like a side dish. What are you talking about? Like beans and rice.
Right.
Beans and rice are like so boring typically. And
Wow.
so then Ken really worked hard to create a recipe that had like very tasty beans and rice.
Yeah.
And we actually had a couple of the volunteer chefs who said, I've cooked beans and rice, I've had beans and rice, like this is actually like really tasty beans and rice. So
That's great.
yeah.
This is like the side effect of doing good in the world.
Yeah, exactly, and it's fun. It's fun teaching people how
Yep.
to try different things and help them kick it up a notch. All right, Kim, what are you doing here?
Well,
So we just went through sautéing the onions, the garlic, put the thyme in there. Now I've combined the vegetables with the tomato. We're gonna bring that up to a simmer and let that go for a little bit. And then I'll combine.
Okay, I'm just gonna point something out right now, Lisa. They have a camera person.
we have something we do not. See out there? Acknowledge yourself.
What am I?
I know my husband's my camera person.
I'm
And-
a camera person.
Lisa's her own camera person.
I am a camera. Okay. Well, I just want to say this also, getting back to what we were talking about before. For us, for Debriana and I, one of the reasons we created this whole enterprise is just to cope and to help people cope during this time. And cooking is such a cathartic thing anyway, but it's also so much more than that, because you guys really are doing what I like to call the Lord's work. You really care about others, and there seems to be such a lack of empathy. Maybe I could just throw out from the federal government, and stuff like that, where it's just like watching you two just gives me so much joy to know there are people that do this and that people really friggin' care, about others. We're all in this together, and it's important.
And that you found a cadre of other people in your neighborhood that are doing it. It's amazing.
It's been great because, I feel like we're tapping into Ken's talents in the kitchen, my talents for logistics, and then giving people the opportunity to feel like they're doing good, but in a way that is very hands-on.
Yeah, and Ken, who is also an actor.
Ken, what do you do? What are some of the things you've been in?
Well, again, quite a bit of theater here and in the San Francisco Bay Area. And then I did an episode with Chance, with Hugh Laurie out in San Francisco.
Oh, yay. I love that show.
He was great
Nice.
to work with.
Nice.
And then I did a short film last summer with Oscar Isaac and his wife, who she directed it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was going, like I was going to London, he was going to the Tribeca Film Festival.
Yeah, before they canceled it.
And then Corona happened.
Exactly.
It's so weird to be, we have all these creative people that feel so helpless and we have to put our energy somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that because that's how Ken, I think, got really into like ramping up his cooking abilities was when we had our two kids and I have an hour. I've got like a 12 to 14 hour job, and so he sort of took the brunt of taking care of the girls when they were younger, and which sort of impinges upon his sort of flexibility to go do artistic jobs and so I think to try and kind of help, feed the artistic beast and
that creative impulse
to cook it.
So true.
Yeah, and
Cooking's that way.
cooking is great though.
Absolutely. It's a very creative space for me to go into. I used to say that when I would come home from work and people would go, "How could you cook dinner after work?" And I'd be like, "Because that's my play space."
Yeah. And that's where I met Oliver Ludwig during that time.
Ollie.
There's the connection. Okay.
Yeah.
Ollie, our pie crust episode.
Pie crust guru. Talk to the pie crust and the pie crust talks back.
Ollie was there the night I tried to make empanadas for the first time and couldn't understand why the dough wouldn't flatten out. And I just kept hitting it with the pen, eating it to death. And then my wife asked me later, she's like, "Well, how much fat did you put in there? How much butter?" I'm like, "Oh." It was just
that's so true.
rock hard balls of salty flour, or something. All right. So we
Okay, your Aunt Marita from Arizona says hi.
Hello. So here we are. We have the filling is now ready to go.
Oh, that looks so good.
We're going to fill up.
Did you put any salt in or seasonings?
I did put about 2 tablespoons of salt in there. Again, we sort of underseason. We sort of underseason this because we have a lot of people who may have hypertension. Who are eating. I don't. Somebody can add salt to it.
You can add what you want. Yeah, I got it.
Overdo it for 400 people that I don't know. What their
that makes sense.
Plus, if you're using canned or frozen vegetables, they may have a higher level of sodium. So
good point.
Yeah. So did you guys have to sign any disclosures to make the food for the pantry or no?
No, they're just this is for them. It's as much of a crisis as anybody else. So they just they're basically like tell us how many to-go containers you need and give us a heads up.
Great.
Give us a heads up as to like how many meals you're bringing and when, and just so they can plan accordingly. And and thank you. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, and you being the lawyer, you would know about that whether it was necessary or not.
So a couple things to note here if you're making this at home. We're obviously doing this in the tin containers, the aluminum containers, just for ease of mass production and also for the home chefs who volunteer who don't have the right size, we'll provide them these and then they can just toss them afterwards. But at home, if you're making this, you can just make it in a a ceramic or a Pyrex dish. But we're we use these or the large one if you're doing a double batch.
Yeah. So who are the people that are on NextDoor that have volunteered to cook? Are you all splitting the cost of this?
So, the first 2 rounds we paid for it out of our pocket.
Oh my God, you guys are angels.
Which I kind of had in my head sort of a certain amount of money I wanted to kind of contribute to do some good anyway. So, and then let me get it out of the way. And then
Cat sighting.
Yeah, cat sighting.
Cat's in the kitchen.
You can show the cat. That's Kitty.
Oh, cat cam. Oh, cute.
He likes to be the center of attention.
As they do.
But for this time around, as it continues to get bigger, and we continue to spend money, we asked the volunteers, to the extent that they were able to, if they could contribute, some whatever amount of money they felt comfortable, to help offset the expense. And we've had a great sort of turnout in that respect, in terms of the percentage of people who are willing to help contribute to offset some of the costs. So that's been really amazing.
Yeah. Well, there's so many ways that people can feel like they're helping, and food is the thing that brings people together, and you put your heart in it, it all goes in there. It's so wonderful what you're doing. So now you're putting in your potatoes.
Yeah,
that's the mashed potatoes.
Potato topping. I'm gonna let Tracy do this because
You cover it. You get it all covered.
Like
is this a recipe that you had before, or did you find this recipe, or where did you get it?
This one I researched online. I was looking for people who have scaled up shepherd's pie recipes for large. So when we had decided that we were going to back off of having these the home cooks do really large batch things, I found this recipe that people could make in a half pan, and it would be 16 servings roughly in each of these, and it would be scalable. So that's kind of what I was looking for, and so that we didn't have to. We encountered there were cooks who were like, I can't get these large roasting pans in my oven. Some people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're in New York.
That makes sense.
That was
smaller.
Another learning. That was another learning in addition to the $8 a pound ground beef was some people have tiny ovens, and so figuring out how to give them the option to sign up for a double batch if they have a large oven or a small batch.
I had a tiny oven in New York when I lived there.
Yeah,
you had an oven.
I didn't put sweaters in it like my friends.
Yeah,
I didn't cook.
We had a bagel shop.
Yeah. Oh wow! Oh my God! You're a full-blown pro. You have the
There you go.
Look at that! Oh, beautiful! Wow.
So those are the finished products, and we're gonna pop these in. As soon as these are done, Tracy's going to scoop them up into the to-go containers, and we're heading over to the food pantry.
Oh, good. I'll put up the food pantry again in case anyone wants to donate to your local food pantry.
Excellent. Yeah, that would be. We'd be happy to inspire anybody to do this in their own hometown. And there we are. Thank you all very much.
That's great. Hey, thank you guys. That was
awesome, and thank you.
You are amazing.
And if anybody wants to get involved in Brooklyn, there's the website. In Santa Fe, I know we have the Kitchen Angels and the Food Depot, and we have any.
I don't know if Esperanza has a food area. I don't know, but there are definitely places to donate here too. If anybody's inspired to get together with their next door neighbors on that app. This is such a great idea.
Yeah. So many ways to help. It isn't just money. You can put in your time and your caring into cooking if that's what you could do.
Yeah. If anybody wants to sort of start this in their neighborhood and wants a couple pointers in terms of what to do but not to do, happy to chat. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Do you guys have any connections on social media for anybody? Is there any kind of could they contact you if they had questions or?
I'm on Facebook, and I think it's just my name, Tracy Heaton, and so I opened it so it's public.
And I'm at Kenneth Heaton on Twitter.
Okay.
Good. Cool. There's Tracy's name. Because I'm super fancy.
You're wearing more tech fancy than I am, so.
Woohoo!
All right. Well, you guys are going to keep going until the end. You're just going to keep cooking until this is done, until this is over.
Well, until our cooks say they've had enough. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I anticipate that we'll have a dropping off of people who have time to cook once they start going back to the office.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep going, and I've gotten some of the volunteer chefs. You know, some of them have raised their hand without me asking, saying, you know, hey, I'd like to do more, and you know, stepping up to pick up and drop off and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, I think we'll keep going every couple of weeks, and you know, getting new cooks in, and see how long we can manage to keep it up.
This is great. Well, we'll be posting the video up on YouTube on our Corona Kitchen channel. So if you guys want to share it around, or
Thank you.
anyone else wants to get in touch and you can't remember something, just go over to our YouTube channel and also subscribe and like us.
Yes, please. And you know, you guys just bravo and thank you. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
And stay safe and well out there.
Yeah, and thank you, Ollie and Jillian, for introducing us. It's such a joy to know you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Manja.